Driving is a part of life. It's a way to get out of town, take a trip to the store, or travel to work. For many, driving means independence. So when the option to drive is taken away because of a disability, one often feels their independence slip away as well. Fortunately, with the help of a specialist, getting behind the wheel is much more possible for those with a disability than many realize. In this video, we'll tell you how to find a driving rehabilitation specialist, when and why you need one, and what you can expect during the evaluation process. So buckle up and find out how you can start on the path to greater independence today.
Driving for me is freedom. Freedom to go where I want to go, stay as long as I want to stay, or leave when I want to leave. Just to be able to get out and go to the store and get around. Sometimes I like to just drive around.
Freedom owning a Mustang is a convertible, the ease of driving, and let's be honest, it makes me feel like a kid again.
It's nice that people are actually going out there and creating technology for us to get around.
Don't ever let your disability hold you back from anything you want to do, because the only disability in life is the one that you put on yourself.
Really, driving for me is freedom.
I'm a certified driver rehabilitation specialist. That's a program where I have been mentored for a year prior to going out and individually supervising or training people for on-road training with adaptive equipment.
A critical piece for anybody who's considering driving who may need some sort of modification, they must be evaluated. The specialist will be able to provide the best observation, function, and advice about this person's ability, their equipment needs, and the resources that may be available.
Some people are gadget people, and they go to the showroom and they say, ooh, this looks nice, this looks nice. I sent a gentleman out to get a spinner knob, which just helps him steer. He came back a couple weeks later with a whole new minivan and a ramp and a spinner knob, which was his choice, but he could have spent $80 versus spending, who knows, $30,000, $40,000.
In terms of when it's appropriate to have an evaluation, that depends uniquely on each individual. If a person proceeds with an evaluation too soon, they may end up with costly equipment and modifications that are not appropriate for them shortly after that.
I like to see people about 6 months after their injury or illness. That way I can make sure that they have achieved really an optimal level of recovery from whatever happened to them or what's going on with them.
The population that I work with specifically are persons with spinal cord or brain injuries. However, CDRS may work with anybody who has had any kind of an impairment.
It's as varied as the people that you see walking down the street or in the mall. Every age, ability, disability. I think the youngest I've seen is probably 16. The oldest has been 95.
There are two primary components to an evaluation for driving. One is the clinical, the second is on-road. Clinical involves things such as testing of their sensation, muscle function, vision, etc.
I evaluate people in the office using a battery of tests of vision, memory, attention, concentration, reaction time, visual scanning. This reaction time tester is actually kind of an industry standard. It gives me an idea about the reaction time skills of a person. Can they get quickly enough from the gas to the brake pedal? This is a vision tester. I have 13 different tests on there that look at color vision, depth perception, peripheral vision, contrast sensitivity, of course near and far acuity. This right here is a visual scanning test called the AccuVision. During a period of about 2 minutes, 120 lights show up on this board. It's broken up into 6 visual fields, upper and lower, left, right, and middle. And of course, most people will have great central vision. Their middle scores are 80s and 90s. But sometimes if you have inattention, neglect, or a field cut, you might have 20s and 30% on the left side or right side. And then that's something that we need to work on. Maybe I'll send you back to your eye doctor and say, can there be some eye exercises given or prism lenses given to the person so that they can, bypass that visual field impairment.
The second critical piece always includes an on-road evaluation of the person's actual skills in a vehicle. Typically, the vehicle belongs to the facility that is doing the evaluation.
Once I feel they're ready, I definitely want to have them get their vehicle modified, and then we're out on the road in their car, and I feel great about signing off on the paperwork to the doctor and then eventually to the DMV.
We also assist persons who may need modified equipment as a passenger. The specialists can help evaluate that client's unique needs and offer resources toward what sort of adaptive equipment may allow them to still be transported safely and independently.
The evaluation is always 4 hours long. Office visit, 2 hours. On-road visit is 2 hours. And again, sometimes people don't make it past the office visit, but if everything's going good, it's 4 hours. Certainly I know that all the major manufacturers would have rebate programs. If you buy a new vehicle from them, you're going to be able to get $1,000 or $1,200 from Ford or whoever the maker is to get the vehicle modified.
In terms of paying for the costs of an evaluation, most programs are often private pay.
But there are a lot of funding sources that are available out, at least in the Denver area.
Clients are encouraged to inquire with their insurance companies as to whether or not they will provide funding for such an evaluation. One of our other primary backup sources is state vocational rehabilitation. Clients would need to contact the agency in their state to determine if they're eligible for that source of funding. Every state motor vehicle department has its own guidelines and regulations around driving with specialty equipment.
Here in Colorado, it's a couple-step process. I send reports to the doctor then sends information to the Department of Motor Vehicles, and then from there the DMV can make a choice about whether they want any further testing or whether they are ready to release them to drive right away. And sometimes it means going through the whole testing procedure, written, vision, and drive testing.
Once that happens, they are considered an independent driver just as any other able-bodied person will, and they typically fall under the same guidelines as established by every state DMV.
You've heard from rehabilitation specialists about what you can expect from an evaluation and where to find one near you. With the help of a specialist, you might just find yourself in the driver's seat sooner than you might have thought possible. To find a specialist in your area, go to www.driver-ed.org.